Solid Foundations podcast. This is episode 11, and today we're talking about your circle matters.
We talk about that a lot, I feel like, in the church, because it does. Mm-hmm. And we think about it on an individual standpoint of who you're surrounding yourself with and who's influencing you and what that does in your life because it feeds into your life. But I don't think people realize it and think about it on a level of your relationship in your marriage and in your family. Mm-hmm. And it really does matter because who you surround yourself with is going to influence your family. Things that's going on in their lives and they input into your lives will then rub off on you, and then you'll rub off on your children, and you'll see a cycle, and it basically flow in a direction that maybe you don't want it to go if you're surrounding yourself with the wrong kind of families or people. And vice versa, if you surround yourself with a family and people and a couple that are really God-centered, God-oriented, speaking life into you, you're going to see it influence your family in a positive way, in a positive manner.
Yeah, you can't spend time with someone or people and it drain you. Mm-hmm. So then when you are with your family that you have nothing left to pour out on your family, your circle matters so much that after being with them, you should feel uplifted and empowered and confident and good going back to do whatever you're doing next.
Yeah, and the thing is, we got to have to understand too is that your influence and the influence of others is transferable. So, you know, when I'm around them, it's going to be transferred of how they're feeling or whatever and their mood, and that can get on me and cause my mood then to be in a bad mood possibly, and then I take it out on you, and so it's transferable, and then it filters down. That's why a lot of times if you see it, if you're in a bad mood and we notice sometimes, you know, we're in a good mood and the kids come home from school and they just been at school all day and they can have bad moods, and we try to stop it right away because if their bad mood then we see it get the other one of the other kids in a bad mood, and then it can turn around and get us in a bad mood because we're allowing it all to affect us because it's transferable. And that's the same way with who you surround yourself with. Is if you're allowing people to speak in your life or they have things negative in their life that's affecting them and values or whatever it may be, or just compromise, then it's going to bleed in to affecting you, your marriage, your children, and your household and the atmosphere. And you want people around you that's going to impact and affect your atmosphere of your home in a positive way. And influencing your marriage in a positive way.
Yeah, it's not like we're like, hey, no bad moods at our house allowed. Yeah. But it's helping them pinpoint like, hey, what's going on? Because this morning when you went to school, this wasn't your mood or this wasn't how you were being. Like, did something happen at school today? Are your friends going, you know, or one of your friends going through something? Did something hurt your feelings? Like, what are you struggling with? To help pinpoint where that's coming from.
Yeah.
Because that's not the atmosphere of our home.
No. And, you know, one of the things that we've done is we look at people in marriages, families, who we look to or look up to, you know, in the ministry and things with that. And then we get around them so that it positively influences us also. And then not only that, we talk to them like, how do you do this? Or, you know, in situations with that. And so you want to find people that are going to influence you in a positive way, that if your marriage, you want your marriage to go a certain way, you need to surround yourself with people that have a marriage and you see it and you've gotten close to them and you see their marriage that you want your marriage to go like, and it's not, you know, you're not going to copy them exactly. Yeah, but they influence you to go to the right way. They put the positive effects in your life to draw you in the right direction. And if you notice that there's things in your life that it's affecting your marriage, it's affecting your household, your children, one of the things you need to look at is obviously, first of all, is look internally what it's affecting me. Why am I, you know, the cause of this, or what's influencing me? And then you go outside of that, who are we surrounding ourselves with that's influencing us to cause this distraction or cause what we don't like to see in our children or whatever. And we've had to, even with our children, we've had to say, okay, you know what? We're drawing a line here. You're not going to hang out with this person. You're not going to talk to this person.
Yeah. Well, maybe not that they can't talk to them, but for them to recognize, maybe sometimes, for them to recognize. And what the instance that I'm thinking of is that maybe you don't need to be friends with that person, but that person does need someone. Like you don't have, they don't have to be your friend, but you can be a friend to them by being a listening ear, by feeding, positivity into their life, by helping them, but maybe just cut back a little bit on spending time with them or having sleepovers and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and as parents, or even just as a couple, maybe you don't have kids yet, but as a couple, you have to understand is that who you are surrounded by are going to influence your choices.
Yeah.
And your choices then turn around and influence your family, your marriage.
Yeah.
And so it's so important of who you're building your life with, but also who you're surrounding yourself. That's going to help support that marriage, your family, to put it, make sure the things are in the right order and put God first and in the right direction.
Yeah. For instance, for a healthy marriage, you wouldn't want to continually be with or around women who speak down on their husbands or their kids and how what's going on. I'm not saying every once in a while if they're going through something, sure, yeah, bring that up and, help them through that. But if it's in every occurrence that you're around this person or around this couple and it's just constant negativity and nothing good, then that can turn into how you look at your children and how you talk about your spouse also.
One of the most important things, I think, as a guideline, or you can say a barometer to see if a person in your life are they drawing me closer to God? Are they helping me push me closer to God? And if it's the opposite, no, their relationship is drawing me further away and causing me to even compromise to that point, or just not be where I was out, then that you need to look at that person in your circle. Are they supposed to be in my circle? It doesn't mean you don't have to unfriend them, but you have to draw boundaries. You have to say, okay, these people or this couple or this person doesn't need to be in my circle because they're not influencing me in the right direction. They're actually pulling me away, and it's kind of like that. An instance of tug of war, I've talked about before with faith and just your emotions. Well, it's the same thing. You have a tug of war on where internally your spirit where you're supposed to be going, and the Holy Spirit and directing you, and then you have the outside influence that can be pulling you in the opposite direction, and that tug of war is going on. No, you want someone where God is leading you, that's on that same side, pulling you into that direction and helping you further your walk in God and strengthen you. In other words, they encourage prayer. They encourage the things of God. They encourage you going higher. They encourage joy and peace in that atmosphere and help build it.
Yeah, they don't jump on your train and agree with you of what's wrong with your life or what's wrong with your family or your spouse or your kids. They challenge you with the word and pull you back into that.
Someone good to have in your circle is someone that's going to challenge you.
Yeah.
Someone that's going to call you out on your bull crap.
Yeah.
And say, hey, that's
get out of your
right.
own head. Like, that's not right.
Yeah. And or just call you out. Hey, you guys are going off. We haven't seen you in church. The people, I think, rely on the pastors to do that a lot, but that we don't have a close relationship with everyone in the church, although we would love to. It just doesn't happen, but we can still be an influence. But the thing is, there's people that in your circle that are close to you, and you need to hold each other accountable and be that person and be willing to be that person for someone else to say, hey, I'm going to draw you closer to the things of God. I'm going to draw you closer, and part of that is your walk with the Lord, but also is your family and making sure that your family is in church. Because as parents, if you don't take church seriously, then your kids won't. Yeah. If church isn't a priority and the things of God isn't a priority in your life, well, it's not going to be a priority in your kid's life. And so you want to be an influence that helps pull people in that direction.
Yeah, and as far as your kids go, even if they seem like they're not listening or it looks like they don't care, they do, and their spirit is being reached.
Yeah.
Right, like teenagers especially. you will see the fruit of it come out and things. If you just get them here and bring them to church.
Yeah, well, in the right circle, the right people of faith, and you also have to understand that who you surround yourself with also impacts your legacy. It impacts generational impact rather than just a right here, right now. It's going to lead and impact a legacy on your children and what they leave and what they build. And so you have to understand that you want, for us, and we are very cautious of this, and we also draw a lot of boundaries and things, but we're very picky, even with ministers and ministry families that we get connected to and that we're close to, because we want people that are going to love our children just as much, as we. Obviously they can't love them as much as we do, but they have a love for them. They want to see them the best. And we have people that, in our circle that, we've told them, hey, you can correct our kids. They need to be corrected if we're not around. And we know that you'll do the right thing and do it as if we were there. And the same has gone, we've had people like, you can correct my kids anytime they need it because we trust you and we know that you're a good influence on them and you want the best for them because you love them. And that's the kind of people you want. You want other spouses. And that's the thing you have to understand also is being married and having a family, you don't need a bunch of single people around you. It's going to pull you in the wrong way because they're out there looking for a spouse, and it's going to pull you in directions that you don't need to go. You want a family, you want a couple that you can spend time with that are God-centered in their marriage and speaking godly things and pulling you in the right direction, and you pull them in the right direction, so that collectively in that circle, you're all heading the right direction towards the things of God. And it's important as a married couple that you are surround yourself with married couples.
Yeah, that you do things together.
Yeah.
You're married now.
Yes.
I mean, you don't have to do everything together. We like to do everything together. I prefer to do everything together. I became really needy and not so
independent. Sometimes I wish you were a little independent when I go play golf, but
you should prefer to do things together and be able to surround yourself with other couples that they find joy in doing things with their spouse, and their spouse being included in that.
Yeah, I mean, you need times that you have it, your time together as a couple, but then you need that fellowship. You need that companionship that you have in relationships with other married couples that again are going to pull you in the right direction, because if you have that companionship with a couple that's in the wrong direction or doing compromising or not making the things of God a priority and allowing idols in their marriage and your kids, it goes in this order. I know we've said this before. It goes God, then your spouse, and then your kids. And if your kids are above your spouse, or if your kids are above God, you have an idol in your life. And idols always call for sacrifice. And it's going to be a sacrifice of purpose, a sacrifice of time, a sacrifice of companionship, or relationship. And that's the thing. And what some people do is that they put their kids and their kids' events and kids' activities above God. And what you happen, and then you get in a circle of people that do that because it's of like things. And now they're not going to hold you accountable. They're going to pull you in that direction that you don't need to go. And it's going to be bad for your relationship in your marriage, but most of all, it's going to be bad for your walk with the Lord. But not only that, you're teaching your kids the wrong things.
God has an order for it because that's how it is supposed to work and how it works best. And you have to purpose to keep it in that order. We get it. It's easy to get busy and things with the kids, especially if you don't purpose to keep it in that order.
And just like with anything, so when you surround yourself with faith couples that are pushing and pursuing the same thing, God first, it's going to help plant seeds and water seeds and vision and things in your life and dreams. Whereas the opposite, when you surround yourself with people that are not in that area, they're going to plant bad seeds. But not only that, they're going to corrupt your dreams and your visions and the purpose that God has upon your life. And that is going to bring a corruption there where you will not walk in the fullness of who you can be or who your family can be and strengthen your family, and is going to basically bring in an infection in there that will spread and cause decay in your family, decay in your relationship, and it will pull you in the wrong direction. So who you surround yourself is very critical, not only in your individual life, but also in your marriage and for your family and for your children.
Yeah, I heard it said so well on, it was actually from a women's meeting one time, but when you're growing up, you're like, oh, best friends forever, like best friends for life. You think that you and your friends are going to be best friends for life, but you do have some friends that are friends for life. But as you're growing up, there will be seasons of what season you're going through, such as for women, like as a new mom, like during that time, a lot of times the people closest to you are going to be people who have been new moms, people who can help you in that season. And so there might be, as your kids grow up, then that you get closer to other people. And it doesn't mean that you're not still friends, or they're not, you're just not the closest with them, because it's not what you need in that season. And when you say like drawing boundaries, or like putting boundaries up, like it's not like I'm putting a boundary on you. Like the people you have boundaries against, they don't even have to know that there is a boundary there. But there's a boundary there of yourself.
Yeah. And I mean, that's important with with marriages and things with that. And it's like anything. There's seasons in our life. Our lives are made up of seasons. Your marriages are made up of seasons. Your friendships are gonna have seasons in them, and you have to understand that God's gonna put the right couple into your life at the right season that's going to help strengthen them, and you may be that right couple that's put into someone's life at the right season to strengthen them and to bring them up. And so you have to understand that in your life. And so again, your circle matters, and your circle not only individually but for your family, for your children, and your children's circle matter. And you have to understand that, and that's why it's so important to be involved in what your children are doing. Yeah,
and your children should be able to look up and see in your circle what true friendship looks like, or how that should look, to then be able to put into their lives and who they surround themselves with and what they want it to be.
I think it's time for today's challenge.
Awesome. Okay, so for today's challenge, find a specific recent example when your spouse demonstrated Christ in a noticeable way and verbally commend them for this. The couple's talking point: what hobby would you like us to try together?
Which is golf for us, because recently I play golf, she watches, she drives the cart, she enjoys it.
You also became a hiker recently, that you enjoy the outdoors a little bit more with me and hiking.
Yep.
What's one way you can show, for the family kids talking point, what's one way you can show God's love to a friend at school?
Oh, that's important. We say that to our kids all the time.
Pray that with our kids, every day.
Yep. How can you be an example? How can you show God's love?
Yeah.
How to be the one that makes a difference, and not to be the one that
set apart.
Yeah, to be an influence on others, because you don't know what they're going through, and a lot of those kids have hurt or broken families. So how can you be the difference?
Yeah. Amen.
Hey, thank you once again for joining us for Faithful Foundations. We can't wait until the next episode to spend it with you.